I was going through some of the responses that I got from the survey. One of the responses was, and see, I know that you all think that I ask you all questions and then I go do whatever I feel like, but the truth to the matter is I do what I can. and then I work on the rest. So one of the responses was that I should record the meetings and then send them out just like how we normally do with the Master Gardener training, the Master Gardener continuing education type of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and record this for the people who cannot be on the meeting. They can access it afterwards. And then another suggestion that I received that I think is really great is that we do some socializing in the beginning, like we used to do when we would actually get together, and then have like our little meeting things afterwards. I would honestly prefer to do things first and then socialize afterwards, but I understand how much more fun it could be to chit chat and get all of the exciting things out first. So I'll try it that way for today. Um, so yeah, let's have a wee bit of a conversation and then I'll get down to business with you all a little bit after this. I see that Angelica is here, Karen is here. Hi, Charlie.
Hi, Nikki.
And Jim is on. And I think that is Sandy's phone number. I don't know who that one is. Oh, that's Lori and Mark. I'm getting better at this. I'm And of course, I've got Linda Carroll on here. Linda, I
Hello.
know that you signed up for one of my classes the other night.
I did. I have to contact you for the handouts.
Yes, I automatically send them out like 2 days, like the night before the class.
Oh, wonderful.
And then the morning of the class is when I send out the link for it. I found that that is so much better for me for security purposes. I have not had anyone flash me or other participants on a Zoom meeting. Of course, I get a lot of spam into the Facebook adverts for it. Like they've got a bot that rewords the advert, puts it into your comment section, hoping to draw someone away from your actual ad to their event thing. So that's always interesting. And I try my best to go and clean those up and take them down, but quite a few of them get away from me. But it's rather useless for them to do that because there are none of the email addresses or IPs associated with that get onto Eventbrite for a ticket. So it's not like they can rebroadcast without one of those tickets. So I find it to be interesting. Anyways, you all say hello to one another. I'm going to make myself a cup of coffee and I will be back shortly. Hi, Nancy.
Hi.
And for the record, I am so glad to see all of you today. It's been a ridiculously rough month or so since I've last seen you all, but I submitted my end of year report. Michael, I will hook you up because you are not that far away. I can get over there by the time your half an hour for chit chat is done. And these days, I have a French press, so I don't even have to.
Oh,
My whole life. And now my god sister has informed me that I am yes, because I do say yes to a lot of things a lot of times, Michael. So my god sister has informed me that I am now very bougie because I make my coffee in a press. So I told her yes, it was purchased at Goodwill for $3. That's me in the fancy life. All right, I'll be back. You all talk. Y'all can say bad things about me. I'm gonna be over there.
one of the things on the agenda today, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
One of the things on the agenda today is the vegetable garden project. And unfortunately, I have a 12 noon regular every Tuesday, 12 noon luncheon that I go to. And so I might not be here when she gets to that part of the agenda. But my take on our vegetable gardening project is that with climate change and maybe just this very wet summer, starting vegetables from seed in August, late July, August, and being able to plant in September and October, it didn't work. It was too hot. It was too wet. And unless you had a very controlled environment where you could control the wet and the hot, which I don't, I think that the UF guidelines for starting vegetable gardening here in late summer or planting in early fall, it doesn't work. And maybe it's climate change, maybe it's just this year. I think we're always as hot as we were. We were just a little bit wetter. According to the newspaper, we have 12 extra inches of rain in Indian River County.
Hey,
than we did.
Nancy,
Yeah,
this is Jim. Why don't we tell, why don't we tell her you can go first or something instead of you telling everybody now when she's not here?
okay, well, I just wanted to say that's all, the only thing I have to add is that, and I'm going to step away from the camera for a minute, but I'll be back before she finishes her coffee.
Okay.
Yeah, Karen, thanks, Karen. My tomatoes look, I didn't get it. I didn't get any tomatoes. I didn't get any peppers. The flowers that I was supposed to grow never got to bud. So yeah, it was, Carla, I'm glad it's not just you, Carla. I think everyone had the same thing.
Well, I'm going to tell you that this is Laurie, and I'm
Hi,
going to tell you that I'm surprised because my jalapeno peppers, like Karen's, are very, very tiny. Okay. They've been cooking great. So they've been great for the kitchen, but for some reason they're just miniature. But my tomatoes have finally rebounded and I have about a dozen tomatoes waiting to blush.
Good.
The cucumbers, I didn't think they were going to make it. And now they're green and lovely. And I've got about a half a dozen cucumbers that have been successfully pollinated and are about 1.5 inches long. I think they're actually going to make it.
Well, good.
So, it's been challenging.
And Lori, I just have to mention, you are a little bit north of us.
Yeah, just a little bit, but I'm Barrier Island too. So,
Yeah.
I'm kind of, it's always been tough out here. Like my spinach is just still tiny, tiny little pop-ups. It's just not cool enough for them yet. I also did some Chinese cabbage and they're just finally starting to get underway, but I will mention my hydroponic cabbage looks a hell of a lot better than my in the ground.
Okay, good. Good input. Right. I'll be right back.
So I guess Nikki muted whoever was making that noise. And Nancy left. So does anyone have an update on the what's happening at the community center?
Well, I've been taking care of the garden at the community center. Gardens 1 and 2 look great. They have partial sun, partial shade. 9 in the front, the coleus are really suffering from the sun. I thought someone else was going midweek because I go on Saturday and I found out I'm the only one going there. So I'm not sure if they just need more water. Nikki said she didn't know if the irrigation system was on. I don't think it is.
So we'll have to wait for that when Nikki comes back. I will tell everyone tomorrow, we're going to be taking about 40 trees to Environmental Learning Center from Kashi. They have propagated mulberry, moringa, and elderberry. I think those are the three things they've propagated. No, mulberry, moringa, and cassava root. And they're doing them as a giveaway as part of the Trees for Life project. So if you go to the Wintergreen Nights or you go to the Environmental Learning Center, those will be available for folks to get if you're interested in those. And I'm trying to do the Simpson Stopper and the
Cooties?
Kunti Simpson Stopper, and there was and Florida Privet, because I would love to be able to use those to give out to people as part of the Trees for Life project, because live oak there's only so many live oaks we can plant, but the smaller trees and medium-sized trees should be a lot easier to get out. Yeah, the stopper seeds did not germinate particularly well. Referencing back to the lots of rain we've had. So Nikki,
I don't think she's on yet, is she?
she's there. What is there something in particular we were either discussing or visiting about? She's nodding her head. If you go to gallery view, you can see her chewing. And so I can share with folks, I did actually have a harvest of a few sweet potatoes. Some were massive and some were tiny. And I'm still endeavoring to be able to set up the potato battery so that I can actually power a Hanukkah menorah using the power of the potato that would then mix the latkes of Hanukkah and the menorah of Hanukkah into one giant, incredible garden project.
Oh,
So-
that sounds amazing.
If I can power the menorah with the potato and then take the potato and set it up as either seed potatoes and or compost for next year's latkes, it would be a lot of fun. And it's also a great way of demonstrating for people the energy stored in the act of gardening that you're then releasing.
That makes sense. Let me just fix this here.
Somebody is either walking or chewing.
That is
So-
walking. Surely it is walking.
It sounds like walking.
It is. I just need to identify which one of these
I think-
ones is coming from.
That was Jim. At least his box was lighting up yellow.
Okay, then I just put him on mute. Okay.
So how's everybody else doing? Y'all got silent.
It's like, hey,
All right, so I heard Nancy talking about the vegetable gardening project. That's what the whole project is actually about, giving it a shot, seeing if it worked, how it worked, if it did or if it didn't. I will admit to you all that I have tomatoes on my plant outside, and I have several other things in my garden bed. And I have not been managing my garden because I've been trying to just get my other things that I have to do done. But I do have tomatoes and things. I'll be out there tomorrow morning, hopefully. Have a good one, Nancy.
I got a little time. I got 15 minutes. Go for it.
Okay. So what you just said about your gardening adventures, that is exactly what I want you to put down in writing so that next season, when we're doing this, next go round when we're doing this, we'll say, okay, Nancy had a hard time propagating these things. Let's try to give her a different thing. And somebody else who had more success with another thing will get something different. So I have this plan for about a 2 or 3 year type of thing, just to see what we can do, to see who got this accomplished over here, who got that accomplished over there. And then we can all get together and be like, okay, so we know that propagating tomatoes, we want to make sure that it's not under the eaves of something. You know what I mean? All of these little tidbits and pieces of information are the things that we'll be able to say, well, when we did it, this is how it worked for us. But you have to be careful of this. Like with Laurie, we know now not to put lettuce around cats because they're going to be like, oh, this is a different variety of catnip, right? So we know that. So when someone says, well, one day I had lettuce and the next day I didn't, wouldn't it be fun to ask a client, do you have cats? Right? That'll be another thing that we can help them to be able to suss out what the problem was. So do not be completely discouraged. We're going to try it again. We're going to just do things a little differently and see how that one thing that changes in our process will either allow us to be successful or that's also another dud. All right. So this is more for the experiment and more for the process. All right. And if we happen to end up with cucumbers and tomatoes and lettuce and all that other great stuff, that's wonderful. I'm here for it. Truly. I'm a fat kid. But we really want to just try these practices ourselves so that when we're explaining it to someone else, we can say, here's what I did. Right? Or here's what one of my other master gardener friends did. And this is how it worked for me. So like with Karen Vatland, she's gonna make sure that her pots never get too wet anymore because that's surely the problem with the tomatoes. It's not that they did not get enough water, it's just that they don't like sitting in water, right? The cucumbers, I really believe that we were outside of the window for like 2 weeks before we got them. So for Julia to even get any cucumbers at all out of her vine was awesome. So I'm going to have to make sure that we work on our timing a lot better. And I made friends with a friend. I know that sounds crazy, but he's a guy I knew peripherally. But now I am fully aware of how we're related and how we're friends. That makes a difference. And of course, this is from somebody in Cayman. And the reason why I bring that up is he's growing dahlias in Cayman from seed.
I saw that. That kind of blew my mind open.
So I was like, yeah, hook me up because this would just make everybody's glad bag bust. If I could get a few varieties of dahlias that may or may not do something more than just leave, you know. So that is something that I'm also working on for us. But yeah, these are just experiments. These are just ways that we're going to be able to say, well, I put my seeds down into this and it did not work out very well. So try that. That's the way that it worked out for me. So please don't think that our vegetable gardening project thing is a roaring disgrace. It's actually very successful. Once we get some data from it, then we have succeeded because that's the goal. All right. So all of you who have been participating in vegetable gardening, don't forget to keep track of what it is that you're doing so that we can know what to do or what not to do. That is the game plan for this project. All right. I've got some things into my raised bed. I have a couple of things onto the ground, and I also have some things in a couple of containers. So just try to remember these things when you're doing them. Keep track of what you're doing and how you're doing it, because that is the real project work, right? We're collecting data, or like my Jamaican cousin would say, data. All right. So that is that for vegetable gardening. Let me go look at my agenda. The customer satisfaction survey. That was interesting. And I thank all 29 of you for responding who did, because I need to know what you all think in order to do better next time, right?
I have a great suggestion right away that probably everyone will agree with.
Mhm.
Let's not have COVID next year.
Your lips to his ears, ma'am.
Yes.
I've lost another friend. She was a nurse in Wisconsin. And her oldest son is 29 years old. And his wife is about to have her second child, and they will not have the person who helped them through the first. And so it's a lot of loss. So I completely agree with you. I would really, really like to be rid of COVID. From March, the writing on my door said, COVID-19, you suck. That's my professional signage on my door at work.
I'm very sorry to hear that, Nikki. It's a theme in our life as well, because, and I could say it's because we're connected to so many pharma and medical people. And I hear people saying that the media is overblowing the loss of life among frontline workers, and it's not coming anywhere close to revealing what's actually going on. And it's a bit of a heartbreak if I'm saying it in most understated terms.
Well, my older brother is the epidemiologist in Cayman. And as well as they have managed COVID-19 down there, he had it in the end of March. And that really brought me to my knees, because I've already lost one brother within the past little while. And that was not something I wanted to be prepared for. And he does have underlying conditions. He's reasonably healthy, but he does have underlying conditions that would make a really tough bout of that very hard for him to overcome. So he's the guy that comes to your house and makes sure that you understand why it is that you have to be quarantined. And he explains what the word quarantine means. And then he's the person who says to other people, no, you are in social isolation. That is something that is different. And social distancing is also different from being quarantined. So he's the person who breaks down the language and helps people to understand why the goose over there is different from the gander over here, because you all are experiencing different things, right? Cayman just got 2 new cases on Monday. And we were case-free for over 2 months prior to a few weeks ago when we started opening back up again. I'm a little confused at the nonchalance of some people and the overzealousness of others in either direction, to be honest. I would think that we adults would be smart enough to sit down and say, if there is a chance this is real, I need to be cautious, right? And err on the side of caution. That's it. And if we were doing that, then maybe we would have a better chance of coming through this with a few less singes from the fire. Having said that, my friend was 54 years old. She'd scraped her way through many an issue. And her living mother will not be able to attend her memorial. Her daughter-in-law, who she basically took in because her daughter-in-law had serious life issues and she does not really have parents, is unable to do anything for her memorial as well. So it's not simply the lives lost, it's compounded by the lives that are left behind that are affected, and the mental and emotional anguish that compounds this loss is something that we will not ever be able to quantify. My Ruth Ann, who some of you know or have at least met, her grandson, he got into a car accident, was hospitalized, and before any of the world really knew what this thing was, he contracted COVID-19 in hospital and he died. And by the time he died, then we knew what it was and everything had shut down. Well, everything shut down when she got there for his funeral, and everything got turned upside down for his funeral. Because all of a sudden you're limited to X amount of people, and who do you choose to be able to attend this child's funeral? You know, so that's enough from my morbid bleacher system. Let me get back to talking more business with you all. So thanks to you all who did the customer satisfaction survey. I appreciate all of the responses. A lot of you are very generous, and I tend to believe that you all are also quite honest. A lot of the answers do not skew in one direction or other, and that's most helpful because I don't have too much of a drastic swing. You know, I can say to myself, okay, for the most part, I'm doing a reasonable job managing this group, right? And yes, there are things that need to be worked on. One of those things that I'm currently doing is recording this video, recording this meeting, so that I can I can share it in a link. I'll probably share it in a link later on this afternoon because I am getting better at editing these things. Y'all, editing videos is not my forte. Now, I remember somebody volunteered to help me, so I'm going to finally make some time in here to be able to get that kind of assistance. Doing this survey for you guys was also really great practice for making my surveys for other things that we're doing. And that's pretty good. So I saw one of the comments that said secretary could send out important minutes for those who are unable to attend. I think that Karen Batland is doing a really great job of that already, even though she's the president. I know that Laurie is the secretary, but I'm also aware that usually she's on the road at the time that we're doing these meetings. So if we can have someone who will nominate themselves and send me an email to be an assistant secretary, that would be great. So that we can keep this on the up and up, and the two of you, and then, well, the three of you, Karen, whoever the assistant would be, and Laurie can get together and send out like notes and things. Well, that's what I'm talking about, the Zoom meetings, because my question was, have you attended my Zoom meetings? I have on roster 40 something people, and my Zoom meetings generally tend to have like about 15 to 18 of you on average, which is great, because I've heard from some coordinators who they have like 100 and something people, and their Zoom meetings have just about the same amount of people as mine. So we're doing something right here. All right. You all, please remember, I say it to you all on a regular basis, if you don't see someone at these meetings, but you've seen them before and you're kind of cool with them, please go ahead and say hello to them. You'd be amazed at what a text message, a random text message will do for a person's day. No, we're all grown adults and we don't need coddling. That's not coddling. That's called checking in. Julia's not feeling well and it's not COVID. Well, I would hope it's not COVID. She's been pretty safe with herself, but I will be seeing her at some point during this week. I have a little date with her actually. But yeah, check in with someone who you've volunteered with in the past, or someone who you were in class with, all right? And see how they're doing. You'd really be amazed at how much of a mental health boost that would be. And that is something that is on the decline as we wax and wane through COVID-19 as well, right? Mental health. Let me see now. So there was one person who said Zoom meetings keep me connected to other MGs as I would otherwise not see them. I'm glad, because that was the original intent of this. It was never to really be anything too structured or anything. It was more like, let's see one another and let's get you all some information that I think would be helpful. So these were more COVID-19 updates. And I really thought that we wouldn't have to still be doing COVID-19 updates, but alas. And there was one blessed person who said they found the meetings more convenient to attend because they didn't have to commute. That is truly a plus when it comes to virtual meetings. But then I don't get deviled eggs from Nancy. So that's one of the things that, that's a downer. Yes. At a minimum, we're looking at about 6 more months of virtual meetings, folks. The vaccines are being shipped out, et cetera, et cetera. I know a person who was in one of the trials, and she said to me that she was feeling icky for like half the day, but Aleve, all those ibuprofen type of products, the same way that when babies get vaccinated and they're feeling icky for a couple of days and they take some ibuprofen and it helps, especially with the fever and whatnot. I am going to have to make sure that when I'm scheduled to be vaccinated, that I just take those days off, because I'm very aware of the ways that being ridiculously anemic does not help. It knocks me out. It really does. So try to plan your day around whenever time it is that you get opportunity to be vaccinated. The good thing is that most of you are within the age group that is a priority group. All right. So I'm not here to tell you whose vaccine to use or even to become vaccinated. Let's be honest. I am encouraging you, however, to make a plan either way. All right, that's my job. My job is to say to you, make a plan either way. All right, so that's what I'm saying. I know that there are some people who they can't use their arm. So if you are going and you need a ride afterwards, or if you need a ride to and from, let me know and I will arrange it for you. Whatever it is that I can do to assist you to be in a better position, that's what I'm here for. Okay. There was another person who said, I think it's been hard to feel part of a program when you can't get together. Yes. Yes. This virtual thing, it's okay, right? It's okay. Because like when I'm on a virtual meeting for like a work lecture type of or a conference, I can actually do some of my real work without being absolutely rude anymore. But I truly understand you are missing out. Yes, Michael, I will see you tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. at Kashi. Have a good day. Be safe. Stay well.
Bye, everybody.
So I completely agree. Half of the fun of doing this whole Master Gardener thing was getting together. There was always some mischief, especially if Mort was in the room. Right. And I truly miss Larry for more than his cakes. So if any of you want to be my replacement, Larry, strawberry cake with real strawberries is the way to do it. I'm just throwing that out there.
You get credited with 100 more hours?
You know what? You get credit in my heart.
All right, I
hips would
got a cake
definitely
for you.
know the difference.
I got a cake for you when strawberries are properly back in season. I'm not buying out a seasoned strawberry
Yes.
from another location. So
I am
think-
trying to buy some plants from this one lady who has them for like $3. So maybe one of these days we'll actually use my homegrown strawberries to make me strawberry cake. You all would never, ever hear the end of the fact that I've made strawberry cake with real homemade strawberries, like homegrown strawberries. Like that would be the topic of conversation for years to come.
I'll send you a picture.
All right, so so yeah, the in-person gathering is a major hit for everyone's program, to be honest. It's not just ours, and it's not just Master Gardeners either. I have a little 4-H family. They're so stinking cute. It's a whole bunch of them. And they too are feeling like, well, it's a good thing there's a whole bunch of us, so we're never really, really lonely or bored, but I sure do miss getting together with other families. And then, you know, whoever the oldest one is had their counterpart in another one's family. And, you know, so that in-person interaction is missing and is lacking for sure. So all of you thought that I've been giving you all appropriate and timely information. There was one person who said it was not appropriate and timely. So I don't really know who that one is, and they're probably not on this call. But I will be sending you all out an email to say to you that, all right, you too, Mort, be safe. Text me when I can come get my spinach. So, you know, I'm gonna work on that. Now, there was another, okay, a lot of you completed your education hours. Several of you thought the links were helpful. A few of you that responded did not complete your education hours. And one of you that responded was a new volunteer. All right. If you did not do your education hours last year, please work on them from now for this year. So the year starts over October 31st for me, right? So from 1st November to 31st October, that is my reporting year. All right, that's when I shut down my records and start working on my report so that I can have things ready for the first week December to be able to say this is what we've done for the year. Having said that, if the topics are not what you are interested in, let's find things that you're interested in. But there is no reason why anyone should not have their continuing education units. Volunteer hours, sure, that's a given. Your hours were prorated for last year to 14. All right, that's what the prorated hours were. Instead of 35, it was 14 hours. All of you who are veterans made that, and most of my new class are already on their way to giving the prorated hours for their first year in as well. And I want to thank you all for being so very plugged in already. Okay, so Karen, I know you can't take the classes on Thursdays. I will happily just continue to send out the links after they're uploaded. Or I'll send you the email so you can send out the links after they're uploaded. And there are other virtual offerings as well that you all can access, all right? So it doesn't have to be the Master Gardening webinar service either. You can go and do other classes. Just let me know so that I can tell you whether or not you're wasting your time by attending. Because somebody could be sitting down talking about brownies for 2 hours. And yeah, that's not a continuing education unit. Now, if they're explaining the process of growing wheat in what regions and the changes in wheat production, and then they're like, and that's why you are allowed to make brownies from a mix for $1.98, then you've got yourself a continuing education unit. But turtle brownies versus walnut brownies, no. Okay. All right. During this year, have you experienced any positive experience, long-term personal impacts? So that was one of my goals for this year, that more of my people would report that they have had a positive impact. And then COVID-19 hit. But I think that it was really, really nice. Somebody said, I enjoy the association with plant-minded and oriented people. Another person said, during this challenging year, the Zoom meetings were invaluable to staying connected with MGs and gave structure to my week in activities. That was something that I put into my report, because that was my impact for the year. My impact for the year for this part of my program, I had to change it. I really thought that our impact would have been that we got the IG Center done, that we got Egret Marsh completed. And of course, he laughs, right? He gets a really good chuckle from me on a regular basis. I did not stop and think to factor in a lot of things that have happened this year that delayed or postponed a lot of other things. So that was something interesting. So when I asked about what I could do to improve the program, somebody said that I can offer tips on educational sites, and I will try to put those into one email, right? No, we have not done any plantings there yet. I'm going to set up a meeting with Adina because it's my fault, it's not hers. Excuse me, I'm going to set up a meeting with Adina so that I can go ahead and meet with her, and we can plan our insect survey first, and then we can start making our plan for plants. So you all should be expecting an email from her very soon. Some of these little comments were really the sweetest things ever. I read the one that said could be just a little bit more efficient, like answering emails. Yes. Yes. I'm going to be working on that this year. I had to redo my whole entire inbox. All right. And we need to get back to doing monthly meetings. We did social distance. We did that very well in October when we got together. So I'm pretty sure that we'll be able to socially distance ourselves again. I think that if we do outdoor meetings and we do it the same way that we did the last one in October, where everybody brought their own chair, everybody brought their own food, and we're not really sharing much of anything, then we'll be in business. So I do have a plan for us to get together at some point in January. We're going to have to delay and not have our end of year party in December this year. The numbers are rising in our county in particular. It's not Florida in general, which we know Florida in general just hit that 1 million mark. So I do not feel comfortable with us getting together within the next few weeks. And we'll see what January brings for us to have another in-person, very socially distanced meeting again. Some people said that we need more online access, more outdoor events. I'm working on more outdoor events. Any of you who need more training on virtual platforms, send me an email, because I had 8 people who said I would really like to be able to work better with virtual platforms. I can teach it. Okay. I taught several people, a very close personal acquaintance, how to use computers and other tech. So teaching you how to use a platform is not going to be hard. So let me know. Have a great one, Karen. I appreciate you showing up. See you next week. Yes, for sure. We'll get into the back room next week. All right, so I can definitely help you all access a lot of the things that we have that we're already using if you feel a little bit unsure of how to use them or of how to access them. All right, so I'll be there after I'm done with my tree drop off tomorrow. So just be very, very careful with yourselves. I can teach you all, you know, the where, to's, and the how, for's of Teams even. I just haven't chosen to use Teams because that requires that you download something. That's a whole program that is run through Microsoft. And I thought to myself that that would just not be something that I want to inflict upon you all, because Teams gives me a run for my money at times. And I think that it would be a more tedious way of providing us with ways to access one another. Now, there are a few of you who are on Teams because you all helped me teach Master Gardener training or something else, or you're one of my project managers, then you all are on Teams, so you know the teething problems that we're having with Teams.
Yes, they're dry already.
So I don't have to be too concerned about that. But accessing Zoom links and the ways that sometimes, the main reason why I use Zoom is because you all already had it for the Master Gardener monthly meetings, monthly webinars, right? That was number one. And number two, it was just follow the message, right? So if you clicked on this link and it said open Zoom meeting in new window, all you had to do is click and open the Zoom meeting in a new window. It was easier. So that's the reason for using this. So, and several of you want to help with social media content, which is great because that's going to segue me over into another thing that's not on the agenda, but it came up this morning. Our Susan Taylor, who is currently helping me with managing our Facebook page, with putting out content onto our Facebook page, had 2 requests. So one of those requests was for a picture of a Christmas cactus because she wants to do a little piece on a Christmas cactus, which is so timely, right? And then the other thing was that she'd also like to know what you all would want to see on the Facebook page. So those of you who follow us and everything, and those of you who don't, please follow us on Facebook so that you all can see our content and then share. Okay, share our content. I get a lot of points for that. You'd be amazed at how many points I get for my social media outputs, especially now, right? So if there are things that you all would like for us to be putting out on our Facebook page, please remember it's Florida friendly oriented, plant, horticulture type of things. Send a message to Susan Taylor. We have a bunch of Susans, so please get the right Susan. Susan Taylor is our curator for the Facebook page. And if you have a Christmas cactus, please take a few very nice pictures of it and send it to her. I'm trying to think of who it is that I know with a bunch of them. I can see the pictures of their cactus, I just can't see them. But
I have one.
oh, well, there we go.
It's trying to bloom, so.
Yes, take pictures from now and even through the blooming, please, and thank you, and send them to
Okay.
Susan.
Susan.
Yes, we'll probably just have a Christmas cactus watch type of thing. Who knows? Susan's really great at it, so that's going to be a nice little thing that we put up on Facebook. And I will try to remember who it is that I know. And I have a bunch of plant friends on Facebook, so I'm sure that 1 or 10 of them will send me some pictures of Christmas cacti that we can use. That's what I did for my orchid post on Facebook. I commented and posted in a couple of my plant friend groups and lots of people answered me. So that's always a really great outlet for that. Let me see now. What else is it that I need to talk to you all or talk with you all about? The IG Center, all right, so you all talked about that a little bit earlier, vegetable gardening, that too, and I'll get to Egret Marsh. All right, clinic hours. Those of you who can, thank you all, and those of you all who are, actually, thank you all for covering the clinic desk. That has been a tremendous help, especially while I have been sitting down at home trying to get every report that I can finish done. I wiped down the office yesterday when I left, and I found some purple earbuds. I don't know who has purple earbuds. I thought that it was quite swanky, honestly, and they've got little sparkly things on them. So I'm not sure whose purple earbuds they are. But based on the brand, they're very, very expensive purple swanky earbuds. So I'm hoping that whoever's earbuds they are, that they will be happy to find them. I put them into the desk and I plastic baggied them. All right, so whoever lost some purple earbuds, they're not lost. They're in the desk drawer to the, all the way to the wall, actually. All right, so thanks to those of you who can and do come in and do clinic hours. Some of my spots are not filled, and please remember to go in and sign up for the days so that we do not have significant overlap and people are not showing up and someone else is there, okay? I've already touched on continuing education. I'm not gonna be harassing you all too much more about that. That is important because
Can you hold on? Can we go?
Jim, hold on a second because I just hit the wrong button on your thing. Okay, did you fix it or no, you didn't? Okay, Jim, you can talk now.
Okay, so the clinic hours, you want us to start putting morning hours in January?
Mm-hmm.
Because there's nothing in the calendar right now. Okay, so let's see if I got it, 3 days a week?
Yes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday.
Thursday, 9 to 12.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
all right. Because Nancy Richards tried, she wanted to volunteer and she couldn't, there was nothing there for her to volunteer to. For January.
For January. Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm done.
All right, so unfortunately, I'm only setting it up 1 month at a time. I'm anticipating that we're going to be shut down again. And I really don't want us to go through all of the trouble of populating the whole entire calendar only to have to exit out all over again. Volunteer hours. I told you all that they are being prorated, and they will still be prorated even for this year, because I'm not fully opening our office until we can really be free of all of it. I think that it's unnecessary. All right. I will find other ways to help you all get hours in. We're definitely going to have some more outdoor activities coming up soon, especially now that it's nice and cool. Festival schedule, there is none. I got a few emails from a few people asking me if I have the dates for different festivals. There are none. All festivals are canceled. And that is a good thing, because even if they were not canceled by the event people themselves, they would have been canceled by me. At the beginning of this year, I almost didn't send you all to Pelican Island Wildlife Festival. That took a lot of very anxious thoughts and moments from me to set that ball back into motion. So I'm definitely not going to have us doing any festivals this year, coming up this calendar year. I don't care about numbers. It's not worth it. So if there is a festival, if there is an event, rest assured we're not doing it. There aren't enough masks in the world, okay, for us to do any of these festivals coming up, if anyone schedules theirs. Garden Fest has been canceled for a couple of months now. So let's try to support all of the things that they're doing as alternative sources of fundraising. I'm hoping that as they develop their new ideas, that they will continue to funnel them, and I'll be able to advertise them for the Garden Club. We have a very close relationship with the Garden Club, and I think that we need to continue to foster that and help them in as many ways as possible, because they do a lot of good in our community. They bring a lot of joy in. All right, I will call you later, Nancy. You take it easy and be safe.
Sorry, I was late.
Bye. So as soon as I find out what else it is that they're doing, I know that they have their little Christmas ornament thing. So if you all celebrate Christmas, or you just want to get one for somebody else who does, please buy an ornament from the ladies at the Garden Club, because I know that they're between the rock and the hard place when it comes to not having Garden Fest this year as their fundraiser. All right, and the last thing on my agenda, which is usually the first thing on my agenda, is your ideas. Those of you who have ideas, let me encourage you to send me emails, and please send me an email that says, and here's how I can help you get this done. That's the most important part for me most of the time. How are we going to get it done? All right. I'm very, very grateful to see a bunch of you on here who I don't get to see. I want you all to remain safe, stay at home, do the things that are going to make it so that you can do more things very soon. If you need something, send me an email, text me. I'm not good with smoke signals, never have been, didn't learn, but almost anything else that you all can do to communicate with me, I can get back to you. If you need a ride, if you need something dropped off, I'm back in business for those things again. I'm no longer kind of off limits, all right? Be safe, stay kind to yourself. Remember that this is not an easy situation, okay? For those of you who will not be able to go and visit with family for holidays, and you're really, really stressed out about it, please hang in there. If you want anything, or if you need anything, give me a shout. I just made a sand snowman for a lady at a nursing home. And I never realized how much that one little thing would have meant to that person. But I get crazy ideas in my head sometimes. And she was unable to go north and have a white Christmas with her family. And so I went and I got the foam balls, put glue on them, rolled them into the sand, because where I was raised in Cayman, a white Christmas is sand. So I made her a snowman, and I got one of the little palm tree starts and put it into a container garden, and I put her snowman in the container. And so she's having a white Florida Christmas. I don't celebrate Christmas. It's not here nor there for me. But let's check in on one another. Let's call one another. Make sure that we know for sure that someone is well. All right, you can't say, I wish I knew. You can truly know whether or not someone is well. And you never know how some crazy, stupid thing that you do is going to make or break someone's ability to continue being safe and well. All right. So I leave you all with that. You all have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. Call, email, let me know if there are things that I can do for or with you that is going to help you continue to be well. All right. You all are a blessing. Janice, I will get back to you on replacing, on modifying the plants that are out there. I have a couple of other varieties of coleus that I will, thank you, Linda, and I will get back to you on an email that you sent me a few weeks ago. I have not forgotten you. Janice, I will get back to you on maybe replacing some of those plants. I have a few other varieties of coleus that are thriving in the full sun in my landscape. Maybe we'll just change them out. I don't know. All right, but we'll work out something because we really want that commercial area to look like a good example of Florida friendly landscaping. Yeah, I think that's it. You all have yourselves a wonderful afternoon. I'm gonna finish eating my peanuts and my cashews and drinking my coffee, and then I'm gonna head into the office. Be safe, stay well, again. All right. Lena, thank you for the pictures. I will share them with Susan Taylor. Thank you so much.